Hello everyone. Welcome to Great Minds, Great Stories. Today, we bring you an interesting story about a man who appears lazy but is actually intelligent. In this story, we will discover how a lazy person can find the motivation to work harder and overcome their habits. Stay until the end to understand the lesson. In a small village on the outskirts of town, there lived a young man named Jack with his parents. Jack was known as someone who didn't like to work hard. Every day, he helped his father in the fields in the simplest way he could find. Instead of standing all day scaring birds away from the crops, he preferred to set up wooden poles around the field and hang strings to frighten the birds, allowing him to relax. His father often worried about Jack's laziness. He feared that if one day he fell ill, Jack wouldn't be able to take care of the farm and earn a living. And that fear became a reality. One day, during a long drought season, his father fell ill. Jack, who was not used to working hard, found himself overwhelmed. Their crops lacked water, and he had no idea how to handle it. As a result, their harvest failed, and his family faced financial difficulties. That night, Jack sat under the night sky, deep in thought. He felt useless. Farming shouldn't have been difficult for him. But because of his habit of being lazy, he now couldn't do anything to save his family. The next morning, an announcement was made in the village center. A royal messenger arrived, announcing that there would be a grand competition to celebrate the prince's birthday. The winner would receive a chest of gold. Jack thought this was his chance to change his life. However, when he expressed his intention to participate, the villagers laughed. They thought it was impossible for someone as lazy as him to win. Despite that, Jack set off for the capital to join the competition. His parents didn't expect him to win, but they hoped this would be a turning point for their son. After a long journey, he finally arrived at the competition site, where the participants gathered by a large lake. The competition rules were announced. The participants had to cross the lake, which was 1 kilometer wide, using any method they could. The first 3 to reach the finish line would advance to the next round. When the race started, all participants jumped into the water and swam with all their might. But Jack remained on the shore, thinking hard. I can't win if I only rely on strength, he thought. Then he ran into a small forest near the lake and returned with a lightweight log. He pushed the log into the lake and used it as a raft, while he used another branch as a paddle. Unlike the other participants who started getting exhausted, Jack conserved his energy and managed to reach the finish line in 3rd place, enough to advance to the next round. The final round was an even tougher challenge. Each participant was given a large wooden block and had to push it 1 kilometer. They were also allowed to choose one tool from a variety of available items. 2 other participants quickly took ropes and wood as aids, while Jack took longer to decide. After some time, he chose a small knife, making the audience wonder. Instead of pushing the block, Jack started carving its edges. Slowly, the originally square block transformed into a sphere. Now, instead of dragging it with great effort, he only needed to push the wooden ball with minimal effort. In no time, he caught up with his competitors, who had started earlier and ultimately reached the finish line first. The entire audience cheered. A young man who had always been known as lazy had won the competition with his intelligence. Jack proved that hard work, combined with the right strategy, could triumph over sheer physical strength. Friends, often those who appear lazy are actually quite intelligent. They just need to find the right motivation to change their lives. If anyone has ever underestimated you for not putting in enough effort, find a strong reason to keep moving forward. Don't forget to leave a like and comment if this story inspired you. Thank you, and see you in the next story.